Woo, man, that was a pretty good mock draft. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that mock draft. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Till next time.
Peace.
The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We back.
Welcome to the 50-50 Show with Pharaoh NFL and the Severe Raider. The realest show for Raider Nation. 2 points of view. One verdict. You decide.
Hey, man, we appreciate everybody's patience, man. Hey, that was an April Fool's joke, man. I know y'all had a heart attack. Hey. Look, man, we have a problem. We're working on it, man. And, hey, we're trying our best. You know, we need y'all to support us as much as y'all can, man. But hey, we appreciate everybody's patience. We see everybody in the chat is they clowning left and right. I see everybody right now. My guy Daniel Kim over here pulling up, man. I appreciate you coming through, Daniel Kim. Appreciate you coming through, man. One of the best minds out here, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Bar none.
James Furpo, we already know, man. He comes in here every chat. Says one thing. Man, my guy, James, man, appreciate you coming through. My guy, Ray in the building, man. Look, hey, man. Ray's in the building, man. He at this point, he probably was like, hey, I'm gonna have to catch the replay, but he might be in the building still. But we understand, man. Appreciate you coming through, Ray. Man, we got Desert Raider. Hey. Hey, we've been said it though. Hey, look, make sure if you haven't already, make sure to make sure to, you know, make sure to clock in, hit that like button,
Yeah,
and if you're on your way out, man, make sure to clock out too as well. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We gonna get the show started. Hey, it's like I said, I always say, man, Raiders are 365 days out the year, man, pretty much the whole year. So, hey, man, we appreciate. Hey, Space Beast is clowning right now, man. He says
clown.
the Mummy returns at midnight, man. You got jokes now, man. Come on, man.
Man. Clowning.
Hey, man, you funny as hell, man. But let's not waste any time. I understand everybody's been waiting, man. I appreciate everybody coming through. Like I said, make sure to hit the like button. But let's get started, man. Like, hey, pro days. The pro days have been happening. This, they always happen around this time of year. But like, a lot of the quarterbacks that the Raiders are eyeing, their pro days pretty much have been completed. That I can think of. The main guys, you know what I mean? The Michael Penix, the Jaden Daniels, the Caleb Williams, the J.J. McCarthy's. You know, you name it. All the top young QBs, they've had their pro day, and man, so what like Severe, man, like what have you thought? What do you think so far from what you've seen and what you heard from these pro days from some of these players, especially your guy Michael Penix?
Man,
he came through. He came through and put on a show. And I think when it comes to the pro days, I feel like they use that time to answer any questions that people have doubt in. Like, for example, Jaden Daniels, people had doubt about, they had questions about his weight, came in over 200 pounds. And for a guy like Michael Penix, people were questioning his athleticism. Like, hey, can he move? Is he just a pocket passer?
Yeah.
Guy pulled up, 36-inch vertical. He ran a 4.46. Some reported 4.46, but for the most part, it was a 4.5. People reporting a 4.5, but still good. Probably the fastest reported 40 time. I mean, I think Jaden Daniels, if he ran, he probably would have ran faster. You would think, just based off what you've seen during college, the college games this year.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on the pro days, man?
Yeah, man, I think basically all the quarterbacks seem to help themselves a little bit. I don't think there is a player, regardless of the position, that helped themselves more than Michael Penix. His pro day, what he went out there and put on tape, what he went out there and displayed for the teams that were there in attendance, not only just the athletic drills. I think the athletic drills, that was the biggest question mark for Penix, right? What kind of athlete was he? Especially after people point to those two ACL injuries. Bro, he's out there running 4.46, reported by some people, 4.56 reported by others. But somewhere in that range, after two ACLs, bro, like you're an athlete, and then jumped 37 inches. Measure his arm length, crazy. His hand size, crazy. And then when he went out there and actually threw the ball, I think just his throwing session was the most impressive throwing session that I've seen out of anybody thus far. So he helped himself tremendously, man. I think Jaden Daniels answered some questions as well. And I think Drake Maye had a solid day as well. Wasn't overwhelming performance, but I think he did some good things. He did have some eye-popping throws. Didn't miss anything too crazy. So I think all of those guys really helped themselves. But if I had to rank the person who helped himself the most, it was Michael Penix without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure helped him out the most. And I remember we said this last week with Big Mike, and we talked about how there was a cryptic tweet by Michael Penix where he said something about I don't need to prove that I'm athletic. People who know will know. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. So he kind of made it seem like he wasn't gonna run, and I made it a point to say like, hey, Penix is a perfect example of a guy that he needs to run. He needs to answer these questions because it will increase his draft stock. And right now, we're kind of seeing it a little bit. And we're hearing rumors, and I can put up the visual here. Jordan Schultz reported earlier today that a number of teams are meeting with Michael Penix. But, it's smoke season, so, teams are doing their due diligence at the end of the day. So this is what's going to happen. And sometimes some of these teams are meeting with players just to throw off the smoke. You know what I mean? Maybe they have their eye on a J.J. McCarthy or a Drake Maye or a Jaden Daniels, but they're going to meet with a Michael Penix because obviously they're going to do the due diligence, but also make it seem like they're interested in them more so than what people, because they want to throw off the scent a little bit, like especially if you're a team like the Vikings, if you're a team like the Giants, where you don't want teams to know exactly who you're going to get or who you're going to trade up to get. So I think that Michael Penix, man, I think his draft stock went up, but do you think that it went up enough where he can go in the top 10?
I mean, look, the one thing about the Vikings, right? The Vikings made that trade to acquire that second first-round pick, right? And what I heard was that trade had been talked about previously, and that trade was only going to be consummated if they lost Kirk Cousins in free agency. So they're going to trade up for somebody. And there is a very good chance that quarterbacks go 1, 2, and 3 in this draft. Whether you believe it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake Maye, where you believe it's Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and J.J. McCarthy, they're going 1, 2, 3. In my opinion, if you really want to maximize what the Minnesota Vikings have, you take a guy like Michael Penix. You're throwing to two very good receivers and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. You hope you can develop a run game, but if you want to just put a guy back there in shotgun and say, hey, you know what? Throw it to all these weapons that we have. Michael Penix is the guy. So it would not surprise me at all if he goes top 10, especially after that performance, answering those questions. He's pro ready. He has the sufficient amount of NFL starts that teams are looking for. They don't want a guy that's a one-year wonder. He's the last quarterback, or the only quarterback since Patrick Mahomes, to throw for more than 4,500 yards in back-to-back seasons in college. I think he answers the size questions. People were trying to say, I don't know where this thing was. Like, people were saying he was small or something like that. Dude, he was listed at 6'3". I think he measured in at 6'2", like 218 pounds, almost 220 pounds. He's built well enough. And then you saw him out there running with his shirt off. Dude is obviously in great shape. So it's not like he's some flabby, like, dude, he's not taking care of his body. So I think he answered a lot of questions. Would not surprise me at all if he goes top 10. I'm hoping he falls to us, but it would not surprise me if he goes top 10.
Yeah, and before we move on, shout out to Raider Smoke, man. He actually donated this. He gave us a super chat before the show started, man. My guy, Raider Smoke, as always, as usual, man. He says, Raider Nation, happy Easter, resurrection to all, man. Appreciate you, man. Happy holidays to yourself and your family. Appreciate the super chat, man. Hey, Raider Smoke, man. Coming through, man, doing it right, man. Yeah, hey, man, to guarantee that we pull up your chat, hey, you can always throw in a super chat. You don't have to, but hey, man, it's a guarantee that we will pull up the stuff on the screen for you, man. And look, I'm actually gonna put up the RAS, the relative athletic score for Michael Penix, so people can get an understanding of what he did at his pro day. And let me see if anybody can see it. Can we see it here? All right, there we go. Look. Let's look at it right here. So you see the vertical. It's man, definitely elite at his position. His broad jump, elite. 10-yard split. Man, the dude shut all the doubters down. So I think in my mind his draft stock went up. I think, but I think the injuries is what's probably the only thing I would say that can hold him back right now. Like, teams could probably, you know what, we might have to go a different route, just because, like, man, 4 years out of your 6-year college career, you were hurt. That has my concern. But look at me, hand size 10.5, man, huge hands, man, paws. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it does matter in football. Especially. You compare him, like, say, for example, to a quarterback that was with the Raiders for 9 years. Derek Carr didn't have the biggest hands, so a lot of fumbles occurred. And I think you made a point before the show about Michael Penix and just having that maybe has something to do with his ability to pass the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes it easier to grip the ball. So that's why, like, if you look at when Michael Penix throws the ball, it's almost always a perfect spiral. And so it's just that having that ability to grip the ball. And I've heard other quarterbacks talk about that before as well. Like when you have bigger hands, especially if you play in the elements, it really makes an impact. But just your ability to control where the ball goes, it really is supposed to help with that. But in terms of Derek Carr's fumbles, I mean, some of Derek Carr's fumbles were just self-inflicted. We all remember those goal line dives. He's flying through the air like he's a,
Man.
a lucha libre, fumbling the ball out of bounds.
So I asked Raider Nation today. I asked them after the noteworthy pro day by Michael Penix, where he ran like between a 4.46 and a 4.56 reportedly. I think the RAS score that I put up on the screen had him at a 4.58. So 4.5. We'll just say 4.5, right? 36-inch vert. Should the Raiders draft him at pick number 13? Let me go ahead and put this on the screen for everybody to see. You can see here, Raider Nation, man, like y'all came out and was like, yeah, we need to draft him. If he's there at 13, we drafting him. Like, we're not waiting to the second round. We're not trading back into the first round. If he's there at 13, we need to make it happen. And we'll see. We've seen sometimes where, players put up a performance when it comes to athletic testing, and it's boosted them up where they went from being taken somewhere in the first round to being picked top 5. Look at Anthony Richardson last year. 2 different prospects. You know what I mean? Anthony Richardson, his questions were more his experience level, as far as him only being a starter for 1 year. But he put on a show when it came to like the athletic testing in the combine. So, but after the combine, man, it kind of shot him up the draft boards, and he eventually got, I think they took him at number 4, top 5. So I don't think Penix gets taken top 5, but you never know. There's always going to be surprises in the NFL draft, bro. There's always going to be surprise.
It only takes one team.
Exactly. So Raider Nation saying pick him at 13. But, man, we'll see as time goes on, man. Is there a possibility that the Raiders might even have to trade up to get a guy like Penix? It's that would be crazy. That would be crazy. It went from, we should wait till the second round and draft Penix and draft the offensive tackle to now but that's what happens around this time of year. I mean, when you got like quarterback needy teams, and you see a quarterback put on a show, especially a guy like Penix too, he's put things on film as a passer where you're confident about. But then what you're not confident about is obviously his injury history, and is he that guy that he can create plays, that second reaction plays that the NFL right now is moving towards? I mean, the Raiders need it. I'll say as a team, as a franchise, man, we need to get with the times, bro. We need a quarterback that can buy some time, that can create something out of nothing. So, and that's my concern, because I've heard a little bit of, maybe you have something to say about this. I've heard a little bit of talk about how Penix, as much as talented as he is as a passer, he's kind of inconsistent in his ability to, create after the play is not there. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that there's going to be plenty of time where we're going to look at, and we're going to, we're going to have a show on Wednesday or this Thursday when it's released. We're going to have Big Mike maybe take a look and break down the film. So we'll take a look at that, man. And we got another, my guy Raider Smoke. He comes through with another super chat. He said, I have a feeling Penix won't be there at 13. It's a possibility right now.
Yeah, man.
It's a possibility.
Who'da thunk it? All right. It was over. Let's just wait and the second round for Penix. And now and that's what I was trying to tell people, is that after you look at where his stock was after the Texas game, right? Where were teams saying draft him? Or where were people saying he should be drafted, right? Easily people were saying like, wow, could he be the third quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went out there and had a bad national championship game, right? The very final game of his career. He got his ankle stepped on, got his ribs hurt, didn't look like what he looked like against Texas, and then his stock kind of fell, and then people started nitpicking him. But if he just lost that Texas game, where would his stock be? He would still be looked at as like a top 10 guy. So, And now that he's gone out there and had these pro days and kind of laid to rest some of the questions about his athleticism, I'd seen it before. I had seen him display this type of athleticism before on the field, his ability to buy time, ability to avoid sacks, get reset and make accurate throws. I'd seen all this stuff before, but it's just that people would talk about West Coast bias, and there's also some Pac-12 bias as well. Like Pac-12 isn't, they play on the West Coast, so the time zone thing, a lot of people don't see them play. They're not really known as like a powerhouse conference. They're kind of like third, behind, and sometimes fourth, depending on how you feel about the ACC, but they're squarely behind the SEC and the Big Ten. So a lot of people don't care about what goes on up there. So, if they have some prospects, unless you play at a trademark school like a USC, that USC is always going to get love, right? Guys at Oregon, they're always going to get love just because of the pedigree of what they've had in the past. But usually teams like Washington, UCLA, Oregon State, like those teams don't get a lot of love. So people didn't see Penix play, but I saw him play, and I know what he was capable of. So man, I think if he's there at 13, we got to grab him.
Yeah, and we kind of made this like a Penix conversation, but obviously we wanted to get into who kind of had the best pro day. But at the end of the day, pro days are really, I mean, I couldn't say, like Mike said the other day, he said that it's a dog and pony show. I mean, it's the combine is where the athletes come, they put on a show. The best athletes will always have the best days, but at the end of the day, like if depending on what the quarterback or player, they're out there to answer questions, and if they answer those questions, like for a guy like Drake Maye, he put his passing ability on display as far as having some crazy throws, which he's known for. Obviously, we seen one of his throws go viral where he had a missed throw, which was crazy, but he threw the ball over 70 times. So he definitely wanted to highlight his ability to pass the ball all over the field. And then, like I said earlier, Jaden Daniels, he doesn't really have to do much. I mean, right now he's gonna go in the top 3. It sounds like, you know what I mean. Depending 1, 2, 3, we're hoping at 3, and then the Raiders trade up and get him. But most likely he's probably gonna get drafted in the top 2. But we'll see how it goes. But his biggest question, that he wanted to answer, like I said earlier, was the fact that people were questioning if he was gonna come in under 200 pounds because he has that really lean frame. But he answered this question. So technically speaking,
yeah. Did you hear real quick? Did you hear what his coach said? His former college coach.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he
said? Who? Oh yeah. Man, you know what? I wish I had that clip pulled up. You talking about LSU coach? He pretty much has him going to the Commanders.
Yeah.
Because
man.
I think
I saw that.
What if you want to tell the people what was said in the clip?
So basically, they were asking him questions about Jaden Daniels or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, he's answering him like talking about what kind of kid he was." Like, yeah, I think he'll play well for Washington or something like that. And I was like, "Oh."
You know what?
Does he know something?
I'm gonna put that up right now. Now.
So,
was it LSU coach? Let's
see.
Jaden Daniels. But hey, in the meantime, we got some super chats, man. Hey, Raiders smoke again, man. Coming in with a $4.99 super chat, man. I appreciate you, my guy, man. Supporting, man. Hey, it's going back straight to the channel. For anyone that questions Penix about his playmaking or running ability, go watch Indiana versus Ohio State 2019 highlights. But you know what though? Someone I forgot who I was talking to, and it might have been you, Severe. We were talking about like the fact that how his play style changed from when he was Indiana to when he played with the Huskies. Now, when he was with Indiana, definitely a running quarterback. He was definitely a running quarterback.
More so a running quarterback, yeah.
More so a running quarterback. But all 4 years he was hurt playing that style. Then he goes to the Huskies, and he's more of a pocket passer, and guess what? He's healthy.
Exactly.
So maybe this might be a sign of a natural progression of a quarterback realizing, you know what? I'm not a wide receiver. I'm not a running back. Yeah, I need to stay in this pocket, and then every now and then, use your legs. And that right there, to learn that lesson early on in your young career is huge, especially going into the NFL. So I feel like
that's a lesson Anthony Richardson didn't learn. You know, Anthony Richardson didn't learn that lesson, and we see what happened.
Exactly. So good point, Raider Smoke. Man, we got people pulling up with the super chats though, man. My guy Raider Nation 510, man, appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the super chat. He says an orange suitcase with travel stickers. Orange.
I'm lost on that one. Raider Nation 5. You're gonna have to, let us know in the chat, man. We'll pick that up in the chat. Just let us know.
All right, let's see. But he came back with another one. Another super chat from Raider Nation 510. Appreciate you. He says, let's see. He says,
oh, you must be talking about Joe Milton.
Joe Milton. That's where he goes. Bazooka Joe. Joe. I hear you. And I'm a guy like, hey, I like the fastest, the strongest, but it gotta make sense to me. And I'm looking at Joe Milton. I'm like, man, the dude's 24, 25-year-old rookie. I know I'm exaggerating, but my point is he's an older rookie coming into the NFL. And on top of that,
you're exaggerating. I think he will be 24, actually.
He'll be 24, 24. Is he turning 24 or 25?
I think he's 24 right now, I believe. I'd have to look it up.
But the difference between him and Penix is coming in where he's put a level of success as a passer on film. A guy like Joe Milton, I would have been more excited to draft him if he was like 21 years old.
Yeah.
But he's 24 and he's a project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then one of his issues is he has accuracy issue. And you talk to like a lot of Tennessee fans out there, like they were excited about Joe Milton, the crazy throws that you're seeing in these workouts. But once game time came, Joe Milton was a whole completely different quarterback. But, man, we got to be Raider Smoke 89 has something to say about that, man. Hey, man, Raider Smoke, man. He said Milton equals Terrell Pryor 2.0, man. Hey, man. He's coming at
Terrell
you, man.
Pryor was a better college player than Joe Milton, though, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a college pro, yeah, for sure, with Ohio State.
Pryor was he was a better college player.
And to be honest with you, maybe Terrell Pryor played with a better college team. Ohio State, you already know what they're going to do every Sunday, every Saturdays, So they got a system in place. But that being said, man, let's actually let me see if I can find that clip of what my guy. Let me see.
Coach Kelly. Yeah, man. But in the meantime, I mean, Penix at 13 is looking like a realistic possibility. And it went. You got it.
I got it, man. I got it for the people, man. I got it for the people. Look. We gonna put it up here. So this is what Severe was talking about Jaden Daniels, head coach, and he didn't care at all. He was just like, man, look, I'm just gonna let y'all know, there's no way he's gonna drop in this draft.
I read the script.
He read the script.
You got some audio.
So he pretty much says that he's going to get the ball to playmakers in Washington, and everybody caught that in social media. And he's probably hearing a lot of noise coming from Washington, and I'm sure like a lot of coaches and representatives from that Washington Commanders team they're talking to him, asking him questions, and they're probably telling him like, yeah, if he's there at 2, we're going to take him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to take him. Which, if you're a Raider fan, that's not what you want to hear, man. That is not what you want to hear. Let me move this out the way, man. But yeah, man. Hey, let's move it along. And you already know what time it is, man. It's that time. It's that time. Flag on the play.
He was giving them the business.
Flag on the play, man. This week's flag on the play was rather shocking. It's an old clip. It's a very old clip, and just to give y'all like a disclaimer, we're still big fans of AP, but
I don't know, man.
Severe's gonna keep it real, man. Hey, he was kind of disgusted when he seen this clip, but maybe some Raider fans might be disgusted.
You might have to catch my fade now, man. After he was talking.
So just to give y'all a little sneak preview or a little heads up on this clip I'm about to play about AP. So this is back in 2014, and AP was asked to give a game-by-game prediction of what the Raiders were going to do that year, and this is what he had to say. Let me go ahead and play the clip.
Where we are with a once proud franchise, and we'll say it, the NFL is always a more interesting project than product when the Raiders are relevant. They simply are not relevant right now because of the things that have been going on, systemic losing and constant change. So are they going to get a win? Let's play find the win now for the Oakland Raiders as they go into their bye 0-4.
Yours, man.
All right.
I'm from California, so this is
Where are they going to tell me where the wins are coming?
So let's start Chargers. No. So that's a loss.
All right, that's a loss there.
Cardinals, they're playing good football. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Oh, might see Johnny Manziel. That's a good day. That's my birthday, but you're going to lose on that day.
Are you going to lose there?
Super Bowl champions?
Yeah,
that's not. Denver Broncos? Yeah, not going to happen.
All right, you have an 0-9.
Chargers? Wait. No, not going to happen here.
All right.
Wow, the Chiefs, that's my Super Bowl team. No, not going to happen here.
All right.
Wait for it. This is the one. But no, there's a defensive team. That's not going to happen.
You're not even going to give the Rams. All right.
The Niners, physical, people question their locker room, not going to happen. Now, I have the Chiefs, a real hated rivalry. No.
You're getting close to pulling a 2000.
No, this is good. This is where it gets good.
Okay.
This is the game. They can do it. They can do it.
It'll be a Christmas present.
But guess what? Now they're not going to do it on that one either.
They're not going to do it there?
Now the shocker. They're going to go 0-16.
You think they are?
They're going 0-16.
They're gonna pull a 2008 Detroit Lions.
They're going 0-16.
Well, it has happened before. Tim is the silent partner.
My buddy in Vegas told me that, by the way.
Ever to excel. And by the way, in case you're wondering, two teams started 0-8 last year, and then the Jags and the Bucs won on the same weekend. We'll see how long it takes the Raiders to get.
Man, I don't even want to play too much of that clip, man. I'm disgusted by AP. I am disgusted by AP by that. But you know what? That was back in 2014. And shout out to Raider Resistance. He was the one that provided a clip, man. One of the best IGs out there, man, when it comes to Raider news. So definitely go ahead and give him a follow. But he was the one that provided a really good find, man. Flag. We gonna call it like it is, man. That's a flag on the play, AP. You're supposed to be a diehard Raider fan, man. You can't pick against your team. I don't want to hear 0-16 coming from a Raider fan. Come on, man.
He was rubbing it in too. He was like enjoying that. Like, come on, dog. He was enjoying that too much, man. He was adding the little fakes. Oh, we gonna get you right. Oh, it's a loss right there. All right, AP. All right, dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sound like Mike Lombardi, brother.
That was tough to watch. You know what it was? Probably it was probably because maybe he probably wanted to play for the Raiders. And the Raiders were like, you know what? We gonna pass on you coming to the Raiders or something.
So Reggie McKenzie told him no.
Something. He felt real petty, but it is what it is. AP, we're hoping for success from you as a head coach of the Raiders, man. But we definitely got to call it like it is, man. Flag on the play for that one for sure.
Yeah. We went 3-13 that year, by the way.
The Raiders did go 3-13. We weren't a good team that year. I believe that was Derek Carr's rookie year.
Yeah, Derek Carr's rookie year.
And I remember the first win came against the Chiefs.
Yes.
And Murray had that 90-yard run in that game, if y'all remember. But it definitely wasn't a good team by the Raiders last year. But definitely no 0-16. Come on, man, don't disrespect us like that. Come on, AP, you better than that.
Yes.
And in the chat, man, we got people. Oh man, nah, we not gonna talk about no. No, we not talking about this. Let's see. We got people in the chat pulling up, man. Look, Dodgers everything. I think this is from earlier. He says, "Bro, no way he's gonna slip down to 13." He's talking about. I'm assuming that he's talking about Penix.
Yes.
But where do you think he'll possibly go though?
Man. That is
like where is he gonna go? Like what makes you so confident? That's what I'm saying. Like it's gonna be a lot of smoke, and I think teams that are meeting up. Look, hey, I'm gonna let y'all know. Every team has top 30 visits, so they're gonna visit. They're gonna have all types of visits from all different types of prospects. Yeah, they're probably doing their due diligence, but at the same time, they know that when they get these visits, everybody knows that they're getting these visits.
Yeah.
So it's kind of smart for like the Raiders to be like, yeah, let's go look at Joe Schmo. You know what I mean? Some guy that like we don't expect for them to draft, but they're gonna do it because they want to throw off the scent from them trading up or trying to get a player at a certain point in the draft, man. And yeah, man, hey, definitely R.I.P. to Vontae Davis, man. That's it's crazy, man. Crazy, man.
Yeah,
That R.I.P. man to him and his family, man.
35 years old.
Yep.
But I will say this about the 30 visits. There are some teams that are going to use that to kind of throw teams off the scent. But you only have a limited number of those 30 visits. So it's not something you want to just be wasting, to trick people, right? That you want to like get some value out of those visits. Now, value comes in different forms. Maybe your value is throwing teams off the scent, but you don't want to be wasting it. Just to trick people, like I said before. And one thing we discussed previously is that you've talked about how many teams need quarterbacks, and that's one of the main things you've been saying in the past, and one of the main things you pointed to as to why it would cost a lot if we wanted to move up to get a guy like Jaden Daniels. So assuming all these teams feel that quarterback is their biggest need, there is a good chance that 4 or 5 guys go off the board before pick 13, and that would be crazy.
Right. And we got people in the chat talking about the flag on the plays, and I don't care how bad we are as a fan. I'll never say we aren't winning any games. Bro, yeah, man. AP for sure was feeling petty that year. Yeah, we went 3-13 that year. Yeah, we were terrible that year. Oh my God! Derek Carr was a rookie. Though. We had no weapons. We were slow at every skill position you could think of. We weren't explosive. James Jones was our number one receiver? I think James Jones was our number one receiver. I remember that was the year James Jones caught a pass, fumbled, picked up the fumble, then fumbled again. Remember that?
I don't think James Jones. Do we have James Jones that year? We had boy.
No, we had James Jones. That was the year James Jones was a Raider. It was that 2014 season.
Was that year? Okay.
And then 2015, I believe, is when we got Michael Crabtree. That offseason with Jack Del Rio as the head coach. Yeah, and I think Amari Cooper. We drafted Amari Cooper and got Michael Crabtree in free agency. That's way back, man. I'm taking it way back, man. I know him. But it is what it is.
That was the year that – was that the year that Dennis Allen got fired? And did we go – is that the year we buried the football? Is that the year?
Yeah. RIP to the head coach.
The old offensive line coach. What's my man's name?
Offensive line coach.
Tony Sparano.
Tony Sparano. Yep. That was the year 3-13 season. He was the interim coach. Dennis Allen got fired that year.
Yeah. Man.
Man. I know it was 10 years ago, but still,
look,
I didn't know crazy. I didn't know that was out there. So when I seen that, I'm like, oh, this is a flag. I'm definitely gonna have to show this.
It was crazy as hell though. Is that Dennis Allen got Derek Carr that year, right? And he started out losing that year and got fired. And Dennis Allen got Derek Carr again. Started out losing this year and damn near lost his job this year. And if he starts the same way next year that he started this year, Derek Carr can get Dennis Allen fired twice. Derek Carr is doing a reverse Tom Telesco with Jerry Tillery. Like Derek Carr followed Dennis Allen just to make sure he lost his job again.
Man. But man, appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit that notification bell. We are going live on both our channels, as you see it on the screen, The Severe Raider. So if you guys are there, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit the like button, as well as my channel, Fair NFL. Man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Man, look. You said nah. I don't think Andrew Walter was playing that year.
Nah, that was like early
old school. That's old school. Well, Andrew Walter was back in the early 2000s, like probably mid 2000s, probably like 06.
Yeah, he was the starter, but the year before we drafted Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. That was some bad years. That was some dark years. As a Raider, man, there was nothing to look forward to back then. I mean, maybe Nnamdi. Namdi was like our best player back then, like, and that's about it, you know.
Yeah.
That was some tough years, man. But yeah, that being said, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Let's move it along. Speaking about trading up, Albert Breer the other day on NFL Network, I believe, or was it was Rich Eisen? He talked about the Raiders being one of the teams that want to really trade up, which we all kind of know, but Albert Breer is probably one of the top NFL insiders, and this is what he had to say.
Obviously, the Raiders, are in a position where they need a quarterback. The question to me is whether or not, they feel like they're in position to go give up draft capital to go and get one. And I'm not sure they feel that way. They have investigated it, and they've called around to gauge what it would cost to go up. I just don't know, Rich. I mean, remember, it was just 2 years ago, and I know Tom Telesco wasn't there yet, but it was just 2 years ago that they gave up first and second round picks to go and get Devontae Adams. And, I think that's left them in a position where they have a little less young talent on their roster because of it. And so I do think Tom Telesco comes in valuing the draft picks that he has. Doesn't mean if the opportunity to get Jaden comes along, they wouldn't go and take a big swing at it. But I think it's something to keep in mind as we move forward.
I mean,
obvious.
So, yeah, I mean, he said the obvious, the Raiders being very interested in trading up. And the reason why I say the obvious, because AP let everybody know that we want to trade up. I mean, but it's kind of obvious because the Raiders are at 13 and the top quarterbacks are at the top of the draft. Like, the only way to get there is you got to trade up. And Raiders definitely have a big need at quarterback, meaning that, even though they signed Gardner Minshew, even though they have AOC on the team, let's be honest. If someone were to ask you, where do you see AOC in the next 5 years, Gardner Minshew the next 5 years, these are high-end backups. These are guys that, really solid, can play probably well in a couple of games stretch, but the ceiling ain't there. You know what I mean? That franchise ceiling is not there with a guy like AOC and Gardner Minshew. So the Raiders are definitely interested in trading up. Are they gonna get there? You see the doubt. You hear the doubt in Albert Breer's voice. He's kind of I don't know, man. The Raiders would have to do something historical, meaning that they would have to offer a team a deal that they cannot refuse. And most likely the Patriots would have to accept that.
I think that, it all depends on how aggressive they want to be, or how far they think they are from contending. If they feel that they're right there in contention and they feel they're a quarterback away, then there's no reason not to go up and grab your quarterback, right? Because if that's the missing piece, we saw how much difference a quarterback can make with the Houston Texans. We saw what CJ Stroud was able to do with that team, a team that nobody before the season picked to make the playoffs. People were saying they had one of the worst, rosters in the NFL, had one of the worst skill position groups in the NFL. CJ Stroud comes in there, leads that team not only to a playoff berth, but to a playoff win. Something that, in how many years of being an NFL player, or 10 years, or more than 10 years of being an NFL player, Derek Carr has yet to do, right? So if you got the right guy in the right situation, then it can all be worth it. The right quarterback covers up a lot of warts on your team. So it could be worth it, but that's a situation that Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce have to assess. What is the opportunity cost? If we go up and get this quarterback, we can't look at how much draft capital we're giving up. We have to look at what could we potentially do with that draft capital, and since we can't draft these players, can we acquire players via other avenues, whether that be through trade, through free agency? Maybe we have eyes on some UDFA guys, some guys that are, in practice squads and other teams, or we wait for those other cuts that are coming, when teams start trimming their rosters. But like I said, it just all depends, man. It all depends.
Before I get to the super chat, but hey, come on, y'all. Let's be better, man. Hey, it's over 150 in the building, man. Make sure to go ahead and hit that like button, y'all. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hey, man, we love doing this. We want to keep coming back and doing this, but we need y'all support. And best way to support is hit that like button, subscribe, and hitting that notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Because we sometimes we see people in the comment section telling us like, "Oh man, I didn't get a notification. I didn't know you guys were going live." So best way to do that is to obviously hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But yeah, in the meantime, hey, Severe, do me a huge favor. Can you read this super chat real quick?
Raider Nation 510 LV Raiders, Milton, top 30. Trust the process, 100. Man, if you want to take a late flyer on Milton, I can't be mad at that, right? I can't be mad at a late round flyer on a guy, but I'm not drafting Milton before like the 6th round, to be honest with you. There are other guys earlier that I would prefer. Pratt is a guy I would look at before him. I would look at Spencer Rattler. I'm just not sure I'm not sure Joe Milton's skill set can translate that well to the NFL. He has a strong arm, and that's about it, right? That's pretty much all he has going for him, man. Strong arm and some athleticism, man. He can on the punt, pass, and kick contest, he's out there kicking everybody's ass. But other than that, I'm not sure if he can actually quarterback.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Severe. Yeah, man. Hey, Milton, he's definitely a later round option, but I think everybody in Raider Nation will probably be surprised if the Raiders waited all the way until the mid rounds to late rounds to draft a quarterback. But that could be the case if there's no takers at to get to the top 3, and obviously if the quarterbacks that they like get taken, it's a possibility that the Raiders are going to have to be forced to take the best player available, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's just we're going to have to wait. But we'll see how it shakes out, man. Daniel, you said Andre Holmes. Oh, this is from earlier. Yeah, the 2014 year. Yeah, Andre Holmes. Andre Holmes was that like role player. He had that size. They used him in the red zone. Yeah, I remember Andre Holmes. Yep.
Derek Carr loved that fool.
Yeah, man.
For whatever reason.
That they had chemistry on the football field for whatever reason. Fred 710. Do y'all think rookie QB that balls out for us can make us a legit playoff team? Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Do you see how the defense balled out last year to end the season? And then I think our D-line just went to a whole another level with adding Christian Wilkins. Offensively, we need that. If we get a difference maker at quarterback, a guy that can, get some first downs using his legs, make some explosive plays here and there. And obviously if we can lean on the run game, if we can, Zamir White running back by committee, hopefully I think that the Raiders should probably draft another running back and, just to add some competition in that room, then, the Raiders can definitely be a playoff team. Now to win the division, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna. But I will say this: there is a good possibility if they pick the right quarterback, it could happen. We've seen it happen before. But let's move it along, man. That's not the only notable quotable that we had. This is basically a guy that's a little bit controversial. That he has some hot takes, and this is if you want to give the people a little intro to this second clip.
So Chris Sims, for the past several years, he's been doing his ranking for each position, and this year he has Michael Penix as one of his top 5 quarterbacks, and he has some very, very strong feelings about Michael Penix and what he thinks his value should be.
All right, here we go.
Michael Penix Jr. is a first-round quarterback. He is a top 20 pick. The difference between J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix to me is I don't know what. Just no injury history, and he's younger. Doesn't everybody in the league want a guy that's experienced and played a lot? Well, this is that guy that does it. He can push the ball all over the field, right? He's extremely talented. There's no way you can watch film of Drake Maye or Michael Penix Jr. and come away watching the film and go, Drake Maye is better than Michael Penix Jr. There is absolutely no way. None. Let alone could you come away from the workouts and doing that. Michael Penix Jr. is being underrated in this. Michael Penix Jr. is a
man. Shots fired by Chris Sims, man. He's been going at Drake Maye the entire offseason. And yeah, he came after him. I mean, I think he had him ranked number 6, is like the lowest tier in his top quarterback rankings in the draft. Yeah. And even when he got to him and explained why he had him so low, he just, I don't think he had anything positive to say in his assessment of Drake Maye. But on the other hand, it was a lot of good positive for a guy like Michael Penix. But what were your thoughts of Chris Sims, man, in his comments about the 2 quarterbacks?
I think it's spot on, man. It's just crazy how you look at how people want to downplay what Michael Penix did. It's wild. They'll make every excuse in the world for J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy had like 4 career games passing over 250 yards. They'll make all the excuses in the world for Drake Maye and all of his shortcomings. But Michael Penix, a guy who went to a Washington team and did nothing but produce for 2 years, and somehow he's not supposed to be a top 15 quarterback. He's not a top 15 draft pick, not considered a top quarterback in this class by everybody else. Like, you got guys like J.J. McCarthy in front of him, guys like Drake Maye in front of him. Like what are these quarterbacks doing in front of Michael Penix? A guy who was just about everybody agrees is the best thrower of the football in this draft, and one of the best throwers of the football in this draft, and probably the best passer in this draft, right? Not only can he sling the rock, but he is a very good passer too. He can hit you and hurt you to all levels of the field. So I see that, man. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me, man. And I'm glad that we got a guy who called it correctly last year, right? He was one of the few people that had C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young last year. Turns out he was right on that one. So, man, I think he's on to something again.
But he did have Mac Jones high too. Let's not forget about that one too.
But so did the 49ers though. I mean,
I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't, but he did have Mac Jones high. But hey, look, at the end of the day, it's his opinion, but he's kind of, he backs it up a little bit. I mean, and also he hears noise around the league too as well. Like he looks at the quarterback, but then he's connected to a lot of different teams, probably a lot of different guys that work for different teams, and he's probably hearing the noise around the league. So that's kind of giving him the confidence to say what he has to say sometimes. But anyways, we actually missed this. We didn't get a chance to talk about free agency, a little free agency update, man. So let's actually get into that. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen real quick. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen. 1 second. But let's see here. But let me go ahead and share it real quick for everybody to see. Actually, this is not what I wanted to show, but the Raiders actually had they finally made an attempt to make a move at O-line. But what it was they re-signed their own guy. It was Jordan Meredith, the guard. He's a backup, obviously, but possibly maybe a guy that they could possibly start for the Raiders. Maybe they see him as a starter. Who knows? Yeah. But Jordan Meredith was signed. What are your thoughts on a guy like Jordan Meredith? Do you see like as an attempt to maybe add depth to the room, or maybe he's a guy that can compete for a starting role? Because as of right now, it looks like he could possibly be a starter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I like Jordan Meredith, man. I like the signing. I think he played solid when he was given opportunities last year. He played in all 17 games last year. Played a lot of special teams. I think he is I think he's still pretty young too. I want to say he's only like he's going into his 3rd year. I want to say I think he's going to be 26. Yeah. So he's a guy that has the requisite athleticism and I think intelligence to to be successful in a zone blocking scheme. Remember, in a zone blocking scheme, you don't need these big, crazy, freak of nature tackles or guards, right? You need guys that have some athleticism, have some intelligence, and understand the blocking angles and how to work those blocking angles to maximum efficiency. I think he's a guy that I think he has those requisite skills. Now, is he going to be like a top shelf, top of the line starter if he starts? No, but I think he can be a solid guy, and if nothing else, he can be a solid depth as a swing guard.
Man, my guy, man, Raiders Smoke 89 once again with another super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. He says best QB in those dark years was Bruce Gradkowski. Trying to think.
Nah, man, I gotta go Jason Campbell, man. Jason Campbell. Before Jason Campbell got hurt, I'll roll with Jason Campbell. I'll roll with Jason Campbell.
Would you?
Al love Jason Campbell too, man.
Would you consider Jason Campbell? Like, would you consider those teams the dark years?
They were.
What was the last year of the dark years? Are we still in dark years?
Bro, is that we still in the dark years? Like, I mean, like we still in the dark years. The dark years, the sun. The dark years is not over yet, bro. You know, we've had some days where it didn't rain. You know, we had like 2016, it didn't rain. Then we had some brief sunshine of the year we made the playoffs under what's my man?
I'll say from 06, let's say 06 to now. You know what? After that, I'll say after the Super Bowl, like the Raiders weren't the same team. They went 4-12 after the Super Bowl back in 02. This is back in the day. So yeah. I'll say 03 to 07 is when they drafted Jamarcus Russell. Oh no, was it 08 or 07? I think 07.
Was it 08? Was it that?
07 is when they drafted.
That was 2006, but I could be wrong about that thing.
No, 07 is when they drafted Jamarcus Russell. 08 is when they drafted Darren McFadden. 09 is when they drafted who did they draft in 09?
2009, first round pick.
Hey man, anybody in the chat, man.
Was that Rolando? Was that Rolando McClain?
Might be Rolando. No, did we draft him Rolando McClain? No, Rolando McClain might have been like 2010, 2011. 09. That's actually a good. That's a little fun. Hey, you know what?
Was that Darius Hayward-Bay?
Oh man, Hayward-Bay. Oof, that was terrible.
Was that Darius Hayward-Bay?
It might have been 09. It might have been. I remember I wanted the Raiders to draft Crabtree so bad, bro. I was like, what are they thinking? When they drafted Hayward-Bay, my heart sank, bro. Yeah. But, you know, everything came full circle. He eventually came back to the Raiders and put on a show. Probably his best years were with the Raiders, too.
I think Apocalypse said it's better, just some bum. That's all you need to, like, who do you draft in the 09? It was some bum. 2010? Yeah, it's probably a bum. 2011? Another bum. So, I mean.
Man. But you know what, Gradkowski, I think he's behind Jason Campbell. I agree with you. Right behind Jason Campbell.
I like Jason Campbell. And the hit six stepper, I did watch Rolly get pieced up against Pitbull Cruz. That's why Tank still ducking Pitbull Cruz. He don't want that. He don't want those problems. Tank ducked him. He's still ducking him. Rolly ain't that guy, man.
Let me go ahead and we got another super chat. Oh, yeah, I seen that too, Raider P. That was I think Plaxico talked about it in his podcast where he said that I think he might have brought it up or AP might have brought it up. One of the other. It was in a podcast interview, which was interesting, man. Yeah, man. AP was a real one for him, man. So he held it down. But yeah, man. Hey, Dirty in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through, my guy. Dirty in the building. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
That was good. Hey, I'd be happy to trade back. Tired of woke. I'd be happy to trade back and get an extra pick, maybe a player. Yeah, it sounds good and gravy, but I think the Raiders are going to try they're going to try everything to get a quarterback by any means. It feels like at this point. So we'll see how it shakes out. But going back to the Raiders free agency update, like we said, they re-signed Jordan Meredith. Now there are some rumors about the Raiders being connected to a guy that we've kind of talked about, but we didn't hear anything. But it looks like the Raiders might be connected to Xavier Howard. So there is rumors that they are interested in the cornerback Xavier Howard from the Dolphins, who was cut earlier in the offseason. So finally we hear something about that cornerback position, and I feel like I think it would be a good fit. You add a veteran, you give yourself some security and some flexibility before the draft. They might draft a corner within the first 2 picks. There's a good possibility, but if they don't, they still got a guy that can start on the outside, and I think that would be huge if they can go ahead and do that. Here's a little tweet right here. Dolphins, Xavier Howard reportedly has interest from the Chiefs. Hopefully he doesn't go there. The Lions and the Raiders. Lions are trying to make a run. They're trying to make a Super Bowl run right now.
Man, facts.
They are trying to, hey, man, I like what they're doing over there in Detroit. But hopefully Xavier Howard comes to the Raiders. I think that would be a huge pickup. What do you think of the pickup of Xavier Howard if it does happen?
I mean, I think it'd be a good pickup. Tre'Davious White, who was a guy who I had identified earlier, I think he signed a 1-year deal with the Rams, so he's off the market. And most of the other guys, like I said, they're older guys. Stephon Gilmore's still out there. I don't want him. I think of the cornerbacks that are left, Xavier Howard is probably the best one out there. So I would like that signing. We go into the draft. We don't have a glaring need at corner anymore. And, I think it allows us to just draft best player available whenever we need to.
Another super chat by Raider Smoke 89. He says DHB and Mike Mitchell shaking my. Oh, Mike Mitchell. Oh man, I remember
Mike the Missile Mitchell.
Hey, a little trivia question. Who did Mike Mitchell play for after the Raiders? What team did he go to?
I think we should all know this.
Sabir ain't gonna answer. He don't know.
I know it. It's the Steelers.
It's the Steelers. All right. You know what? Let me see if anybody got it right. I'm gonna go into the chat.
I know Mike Mitchell, man. Mike Mitchell's got the best agent in the world, bro. Because Mike Mitchell was not gonna get drafted high.
Hey, you know what? I'm about to look this up, bro. I'm about to look this up.
Look at who he drafted. His agent, Mike Mitchell's agent, put up the highlight tape of Mike Mitchell just dog walking fools, and he got him drafted high. But yeah, man, I remember people were like, they had Mike Mitchell in the 6th round. We drafted him in the 2nd. It's like Mike Mitchell was a 6th round pick. They were clowning us.
Let's see. All right. Okay, so hold up. What pick? So 2011.
What draft are we looking at?
I'm 2011 draft.
2009 was Darius Heyward-Bey. 2009 was Darius Heyward-Bey.
Oh wait, 2011. Did we trade? We might have traded away our 1st round pick.
2011 for who?
Remember,
Is that Carson Palmer trade? Was that the Carson Palmer trade?
It might have been. I'm trying to look at the 1st round right now.
What did we get 2010 then?
Look, I'll share it so everybody can see right now.
Because 2009 was Darius Heyward-Bey. That means who was 2010? If 2011 we traded away, who's 2010?
So this is the 2011 draft. Let's see. You got Denver, San Francisco. Where's Oakland? Man. So we had a pick in the 2nd round. Steven Wawinski. Let's see if we have a pick in the. Am I tripping? I don't see Oakland. I don't see. Yeah, I think this is where we gave up our 1st round pick when we got.
Okay, that means a year. So that's 2011, right?
Yeah.
That means a year before that was Rolando McClain. So it was Rolando McClain before that, and then Darius Heyward-Bey before that. So 2009 was Darius Heyward-Bey. 2010 was Rolando McClain. 2011, nobody, because we traded around that pick, and maybe nobody in 2012 too, right? Because we traded 2 first round picks.
Yeah, 2010 was Rolando McClain right here.
So 2010 was Rolando McClain. Okay, and then before that, 2009 has to be Darius Harabay then. Damn, Trent Williams, dog, still playing, still a dog. Crazy.
Damn,
still a dog.
Best tackle in the league.
Still a dog, bro.
He got drafted in 2010, bro.
That's wild.
Eric Berry was one of the best safeties for a minute until he got seriously hurt.
He got sick. Joe Hayden was a dog at corner. CJ Spiller, oh, that was a rough one. I remember Tyson Alu was a reach, considered a reach. People clowned him. He actually turned out to be an all right player. Derek Morgan.
There were some good players from this draft. Earl Thomas, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, we didn't get one of them, though. This was sad.
Pouncey right there, you know what I mean? Kareem Jackson still. You know what I mean? He's still playing. You said who?
You said Dez Bryant. Oof. Tim Tebow. Oh.
Demaryius Thomas. He was good for a second.
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas. Oh, man. RIP, yeah. DT.
Jared Odrick. You know what I mean? There was some good. There's low-key some good players. Some good players. Yeah, man. But let's not look at past drafts, man. It might be it might bring some bad memories with some of us Raider fans, man. Let's get back into it. Let's not get off topic right now. Let's not get off topic. Let's get back to the free agency update. So we looked at like the interest that the Raiders might have in Xavier Howard. That we just looked at Jordan Meredith just being re-signed. Finally, we see something done regarding the O-line. They signed one of their own. Hopefully, they can add a little bit more talent to that room before the draft. Because if they're gonna be trading away all these picks, you know what I mean. And you know what? To be fair, they're gonna get like 20 plus. I forgot what the number is, but it's gonna be a good amount from when the Raiders get the June 1st cut on Jimmy G's contract. So that's a huge competitive advantage. So they're most likely, PTSD Raider smoke for sure. PTSD.
Man,
Let's not look at these past draft picks for sure. But let's actually look at
the best. Different regime.
Mm-hmm. So let's look at like the best available players right now in free agency and see if there's anybody that's a good fit for the Raiders. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and share this screen one more time. So this is a list by The Athletic here. Obviously Justin Simmons, we all know how he's a good player. He's probably waiting until he can get to the right team, right fit. You know, I feel like, hey man, like Justin, if we didn't have a safety, I would have want the Raiders pick up Justin Simmons. But I feel like our safety room is pretty solid. We don't have to force that.
Justin Simmons was a Pro Bowler last year, but I don't know why he's not getting no love.
And here's another safety from the Patriots, Kyle Duggar.
I like Kyle Duggar too. I like him coming out. Remember, he's a small school guy.
Odell Beckham. If this was like 2021,
exactly.
Which I wanted the Raiders to get him, but it is what it is. It's 2 years too late, 3 years too late. Andres Pete, O-line right here, offensive tackle. Is it a fit?
Yeah. Not really in the zone blocking scheme. And you look at the Saints, one of their biggest weaknesses was supposedly their offensive line. So if they're let go of a guy that's still relatively young for an offensive lineman, only 30 years old, just letting him walk. I think he's a former first-round pick, too, if I recall correctly. So, he probably ain't no good.
Yeah, and I agree. If you just look at some of the things that's being said right here, there's some versatility here. He played tackle last year. He probably is a better fit at offensive guard. But if he's not a guy that can't move, man, zone system, that's not a good. It's not a good combination. You want athletic, big guys in that type of scheme. You got Bud Dupree. I don't know if they go that route. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need no pass rusher. He's always hurt too.
Yeah. Unless he comes for like a veteran's minimum and he wants to come in as a tryout, but I don't think the Raiders should invest any capital on that. Chris Hubbard, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
He has some right tackle experience.
Yeah.
Has some quickness and agility. sounds like a perfect fit, maybe in a zone system. You know what I mean? You got here's another guard. Hey, the Raiders are in the market of offensive tackle and guard.
Yes.
And another guy here is Lincoln Tomlinson.
Yeah.
And he was released by the Jets, which is not a good sign that the Jets released you, and they got a guy that's coming off a serious injury, and O-line is definitely going to be a priority for a guy like Aaron Rodgers, but they released him. But hey, might be a possibility. He has some durability.
For the right price, too. For the right price. I mean, it's always good to bring in competition, especially veteran competition.
So you see some of these guys, 32, 33, these are types of contracts where the Raiders will wait till the last minute and give a cheap deal.
Yeah, facts.
A nicely cheap deal. So Raiders can definitely wait on this. Kyle Van Noy. You know what's crazy about Kyle? How many times have we seen him being connected to Raiders, but he never comes? There's so many times where at this point,
I never want that for, bro. He's one of those dudes, like, every year people want him to come. I'm like, why? What's something? Like, if he's available every year, like, he must not be that. Like, he's always available. Like, why do you want him to come here? Like, I never got it. Every year, like, we get to go get Cal Van Noy. Like, he's available again. He must not have been too good with his last team then.
Yeah. Marcus Maye, another safety. I don't see it. We're pretty solid at safety unless he comes in for a cheap deal, maybe add some depth to that room, possibly, maybe. But I like this right here, Steven Nelson, under the radar pickup right here. I like this. We just talked about Xavier Howard, but hey, if the Raiders pick up Steven Nelson on a cheap, nice little 1-year deal, I like it. For sure. And then we look, Calais Campbell. Is he going to retire at this point, man? Calais Campbell. I wanted him a few years ago, but now, like, at this point, like, I don't know. Is he still got anything left in the tank?
This Campbell about to be 40 years old, man. Like, I don't know what he has left in the tank. Bro.
Hey, but this is this shout out to all the Christian Wilkins haters on that contract. D tackles age well. Look at this, 38 years old right here, man. Still in the league.
He aged well.
He aged well, but hey, I'm just saying. I think D tackles kind of age well overall. I think, in my opinion, but that's just big guy. You know what I mean? He's obviously not every D tackle. I'm not saying every D tackle is going to age well. That's not what I'm saying.
Calais is a freak. Calais been a freak since Miami.
Yeah, Stephon Gilmore. You know what? On a cheap 1-year deal, I like it, man. I like it. Stephon Gilmore is a one-on-one. He's one of those. You know what corner had a long career that was underrated? The name is not going. He had a long career, bro. I remember he played for the Vikings. He played for the Cowboys corner. I'm talking about he played into his like mid to late 30s. Dude was a freak, bro. Oh man. I'm trying to remember his name. I don't even want to hold anybody
Terrell
up
Buckley?
right now.
Terrell Buckley?
No. It's gonna come to me. This is it's crazy. I ain't trying to hold everybody up, but once it does, I'm gonna mention it. But yeah, it was damn, man.
What about this Hunter Renfrow guy?
Oh man, it's Hunter Renfrow guy, and he's not rated too. Damn.
Oh man.
Nah, man. Hey, Hunter Renfrow is definitely going to bounce back. Just don't go to the Chiefs and stay out of the division. I'm good with it, man. Go somewhere else, have much success, but it ain't going to be – it's definitely not going to be with the Raiders, at this point. I mean, I nothing against Hunter Renfrow. I think Josh McDaniels came in here and just ruined every type of momentum this guy had in his career. But I think if he goes to the right situation, he can definitely still be a productive player. Just don't go to the Chiefs, don't go to the Chargers, and don't go to the Broncos. And we gonna be good, man. Renfrow, I'm gonna be rooting for you.
Look, as bad as Josh McDaniels was, I cannot blame Hunter Renfrow on Josh McDaniels. It's not like Josh McDaniels has a reputation of ruining white receivers. Like it's the exact opposite, right? So
Facts. Facts.
So
Nah, you ain't lying. I mean, like, look, he was supposed to be the offensive guru. Like, he came in and ruined. I don't know, man. They drafted a tight end in the second round and barely used him. You know what I mean? Like, they're using him as a blocker when his strength as a player coming out of college, and I'm talking about Michael Mayer, is a receiving tight end, and they didn't use him that often. And so it was just a lot of things that was going on with the Raiders that didn't make a whole lot of sense with Josh McDaniels as head coach, but that's what you get for hiring Josh McDaniels as head coach. You get a lot of head scratchers. Mason Cole, center. Nah, I think with the signing of Andre James, I think this is
unless
out the window.
Play guard. Unless he can play guard, then I think we'll pass on that.
Hey, you know what? This is probably why the safety market, maybe a guy like Justin Simmons hasn't signed yet. Look at how many safeties are available.
That's a bunch.
A lot of safeties available.
Safeties and safeties are like the new running back, low key.
Ezekiel Elliott, I'm hearing that he's connected to the Cowboys. At this point,
I heard that too.
We just talked about Xavier Howard. Definitely, if the Raiders can get him at the right price, 1-year deal. You know how it is for veteran cornerbacks. Definitely agree with that one. David, I would like this, but this dude has some serious
injured all the time, bro.
Injured all the time.
He's never healthy.
If anything,
I like 83 though.
Yeah,
I like Mekhi Becton.
I agree.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
I would go Mekhi just because of the age, but he's been hurt too. He's been hurt too. And the fact that, but I mean, the Jets, that's the second Jets offensive lineman they seem to have given up on, right? So, maybe they just making wholesale change across the offensive line, and he's a casualty of that. But he's a guy. He was a high draft pick. He has there's still some potential there. So. Tannehill, hey, this is something. This should have been a flag on the play. This should have been, I'm just gonna say it right now. This is a flag on the play. I seen reports that Ryan Tannehill would be a good fit, and that the Raiders would be interested in signing a Ryan Tannehill. No, he's done. I don't know if you've seen him the last year or so. Like, he looks like he's done. Like, we don't want to add no Ryan Tannehill to this quarterback room. The only quarterbacks that's coming to the Raiders room should be a young QB, and that's it. Like, that's a flag on the play. That report in itself is a flag on the play. Let's see.
The Titans been drafting his replacement like the past 3 years, right? Like, past 3 or 4 years, they've been trying to replace that dude, bro.
My God, Daniel in the building, man. He says, let this sink in. The last time we were in the Super Bowl was 1 year after the Seahawks left the AFC West. This is too damn long, man. That's
tough. That's before a lot of people on here were born, bro, to be honest with you.
Man, that's sad, man. Man, last time the Raiders were in the Super Bowl, Al Davis,
just win, baby.
was saying this, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man, right? You watch that documentary about Al versus the NFL. It was, those memories. That was Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was in LA, right?
Al didn't care at all, man. He fought anybody. He had no fear. Didn't matter if they was the general, whoever. It didn't matter. And that's probably one of the reasons why we like Al, because his persona kind of matched the team's persona, like that. Everybody against me type of attitude, that maverick type of owner. But moving to Charles Leno Jr., offensive tackle, is this a guy, you know what I mean, that we look at possibly? I don't like this right here.
I think he's a career left tackle too. So if you bring him in, he's been a left tackle for a decade, and you bringing him in to try and play right tackle, I don't think that's a good look.
And then the hip surgery right here, man. This is
bro. Yeah, you got bad hips. You already in your 30s. No, that's not a good look.
It is done. Receivers.
Dang, Michael Gallup, bro. Dang, Gallup.
That ACL injury he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, man. Michael Gallup was nice too, man. Michael Gallup was nice too. I mean, that's a guy maybe you can take a flyer on for vet minimum contract. If you want to bring in a fourth receiver.
It's crazy though. Like, Gallup was like a big playmaker for the Cowboys early on before the injury. Like, and now that he wasn't the same after his ACL, now they're looking for like some speed in that offense at receiver. Yeah. So,
Gallup was part of the reason why they felt comfortable getting rid of Amari when they traded him.
Mm-hmm. Because they felt like he was cheaper. But if you think about it, they could have got Amari at a really good price, because that market when they trade, I think that was the same offseason when they traded away Amari Cooper and he signed with obviously he was with the Browns at that time. I think that was the year where we seen guys I remember it was guys like Zay Jones was getting like 17 mil a year. It was some crazy contract numbers where we were like, what? Zay Jones is getting like, I don't know if it was 17 mil, but it was something crazy.
Yeah, something crazy. Oh, boy from what you call it. But that was just the Jaguars being stupid. They gave Zay Jones a fat contract. They gave old boy from the Cardinals a crazy contract too. I forget his name.
But the entire market for the receivers, they're getting paid like at least 20 mil. If they're good, you're getting paid at least 20 mil a year.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what T. Higgins is trying to get paid for.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think he should get paid that because I think he could be a number one receiver on some teams for sure.
He definitely could.
Yeah. But some of these guys right here, receiver, nah, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe speed. Raiders are lacking some speed in the room outside of Trey Tucker and Devontae Adams.
One guy.
Exactly, Devontae Adams and Myers.
Devontae, I don't know about Devontae.
No. I'm not saying that the receivers. I'm saying outside of Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Trey Tucker.
Oh yeah.
What does the receiver room look like?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Those are the only three receivers that you can say you can lock them in training camp, probably during the season. They're going to be on the roster, unless someone gets traded. Who knows? You never know. But yeah, they definitely need some speed in the room for sure. Outside of Trey Tucker, I mean, like that's the only guy that's speed, and he's kind of a small speed. Like, do you feel comfortable putting him on the outside?
Not really, man.
Exactly.
He's a slot guy.
Right. So yeah, man. Hey, look, I could keep going, man. There's some guys available. A lot of safeties available. You can see why that market's kind of it's moving along slow. It's look at Quandre Diggs. You got Tashawn Gibson. Man, we got some. Okay, we got a guard here. Oh, okay. This might be a fit. Yeah. Released by the Giants, Glowinski can still be effective in a zone scheme. Maybe the Raiders get him on the cheap.
Possibly.
So this is it's another guy right here. So we there's about 3 or 4 players that we kind of like looked at that's available in free agency. Mark Glowinski, I think there was an offensive tackle that we looked at. I think it was early on. Was it Hubbard? No, it wasn't Hubbard. It was Chris Hubbard. And then we looked at the corner, Steven Wilson, Xavier Howard. So there's some players available. Just Raiders right now, they're just waiting for the right moment to make those signings. And they're taking their time, to be honest with you. I think they have the 9th available, most available cap space.
Yeah, 9th most right now. So, and then that's going to shoot up, post June 1st when we get the other money. So, I mean, we're in a very good spot right now in terms of cap space. So, it doesn't look like Tom Telesco's is in any rush to sign these guys. I think he's going to kind of wait them out and see what the market dictates. I think the chat answered your question though. That the corner you're talking about was Terrence Newman.
Terrence Newman, hey man, the chat is undefeated. The chat is undefeated, man. Hey man, appreciate y'all, man.
Terrence Newman out of K-State. I remember he got drafted by Bill Parcells. I remember Bill Parcells was making him bring him wider and stuff, like crazy stuff like that.
Terrence Newman, how long did he play? He played in the league till he was in his late, like early, close to his 40s. Let's see.
Did he play that long? I don't remember.
He played a long time, bro.
I know Darryl Green played a super long time. Did Terrence Newman play that long? He did play a long time. Terrence Newman did play, but who played a long time is Patrick Peterson.
How old is Patrick Peterson? He's in his mid-30s, mid to late 30s.
Peterson, probably late 30s, yeah.
Late 30s? So, yeah, I mean, Patrick, and the thing is, too, Patrick Peterson, early on in his career was
played last year, bro. He played last year. He was in the league last year.
I know, but what I'm saying is that, like coming out the draft, like, he was a freak. He was super fast, super athletic.
Oh, yeah.
But Terrence Newman was,
though. Yeah, Terrence Newman was a freak too, though. He was a crazy athlete, and Darryl Green too. He was a crazy athlete too. It's like, yeah, usually if you're a freak like that, you can play a long time.
Right. Let me just double check. How long did he play, man? Terrence, this is gonna kill me right now. I gotta see.
I think somebody put in the chat. Did they say 2003 to 2017? So 14 years?
Yeah, but how old was he? He was like, it was like his late 30s. For sure. NFL career. His professional career. When did he retire? He played 2014. Let me see how old. Are they going to say the age? 2016, 2017, 2018. 2018, the Vikings signed Newman to a 1-year deal.
So his last year plan was he played with the Vikings 2015 to 2017. So
Okay. So he signed a 1-year deal with the Vikings, but then he announced his retirement. So he signed in April 30th of 2018, announced his retirement September 1st of 2018. So 2017 was actually his last year.
So it's 39?
Damn.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, if they're offering you contracts at 39 years old, bro,
you gotta be a freak, bro.
You gotta be a monster, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be a freak.
So he was drafted in 03. He was drafted in 03.
Yeah,
and then
I remember when he got drafted. He drafted out of Kansas State by the Cowboys. I remember Bill Parcells was making him, like I said, making him do all kind of crazy stuff, like making them bring him water and doing all kind of just crazy disrespectful stuff, in my opinion. The old school, I'm gonna beat you down type stuff.
Yeah, but hey, let's move it along, man. Hey, we getting sidetracked, man. We appreciate the conversation. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. So we keep coming back and making this content. You know, we appreciate everybody coming through. Daniel said, my bad, wrong Newman. Which Newman did you say? What other Newman did you say? But let's move it along, man. What's real? What's not? This is where we say a statement and you guys react in the chat. Obviously, Severe and me are going to react to it as well, where we say a statement and we react to, is it real or is it not? Kind of like true and false, but we just say, is it real or not? So let me go ahead and start with the first one here. Raiders should draft O-line at 13. Is that real or is it not?
That is not real. But under a specific set of circumstances, if the draft plays out like we think it's going to play, or like we think it may play out, where all of those guys, all the top guys are gone by 13, even then, though, bro, I'm not drafting O-line at 13. But if it plays out like we think it's gonna play out, I'm taking Quinyon Mitchell at 13. I'm taking Quinyon. I've been saying Quinyon Mitchell is my number one corner forever. You know, I know you're a Terry Arnado guy. I've been saying Quinyon Mitchell forever. I've been saying he's my guy. You know, I stick to my guns. I've been saying Jaden Daniels is my guy. I'm sticking to my guns on that. Sticking to my guns with Quinyon Mitchell. So if Quinyon Mitchell's still there at 13, there's a chance he's gone too. There's a chance he's the first defensive player off the board, right? Between him, Dallas Turner, and Latu, out of who's going to be the first defensive player off the board. So if he's there at 13, I'm taking him. I can wait. This is a deep tackle draft. It's kind of a deep corner draft too, but I think Quinyon Mitchell is special. So if he's there, I'm taking him.
And I'm kind of agreeing with you too, because I feel like he'd probably be a better fit in his secondary as well. Because I feel like Terry Arnold, he reminds me a little bit more like a Nate Hobbs. You know what I mean? Like a guy that's kind of physical. He got a little versatility, he could play inside, outside. But when you got like a Keon Mitchell, I feel like that would be a missing ingredient to this secondary. Like you got a ball hawk. Obviously, you got Jack Jones on the other side. He has the potential possibly to be a number one corner. I'm leaning towards, I'm like, man, Keon Mitchell, I kind of agree with you on there. But that being said,
that would be like putting Antonio Cromartie across from Darrelle Revis. When the Jets had like that secondary like that, like who you finna throw to, there'll be a situation like that.
But hey, look, I think this might be real, man. I think this might be real because all these teams that need quarterbacks could easily jump over the Raiders. We just heard Albert Beer talk about like how hard it is for the Raiders to get to that top 3. Maybe they might be able to get in the top 10 and maybe get a quarterback. But it's going to be tough either way because you got the Vikings ahead of you. You have the Broncos ahead of you. You have the Giants. Just because the Giants paid, I don't know, for whatever reason, they paid Daniel Jones that contract, which was a terrible contract. Just looking back, I never really didn't understand. They should have just franchised him and try to see if he can put another productive year. But that's on them. They're obviously having some second thoughts on him, and they're looking into the quarterback market. But that's another team ahead of the Raiders to get their quarterback. They can definitely easily take offense tackle, which is another high value need. Look, you got quarterback, you got corner, you got offensive tackle. These are 3 high value positions in the draft. Where if we were looking for these players in free agency, you're going to play top dollar for these types of players. If you're going to get them in the draft, that's a win-win. And I think offensive tackle. Look, a guy like Troy Fautanu, who James Craig, offensive line coach, was there at the pro day along with Lou Getsy to look at Penix and the offensive tackle Troy Fautanu. And I'm going to go ahead and play this crazy clip by my guy right here. Let's see if I can share it on the screen for everybody to see. Let's see if I can share it real quick. Let's go right here. Boom. Right here. Let's see. Right here. Boom. Let's see. Look at it.
Oof. Nice.
Is that a penalty in today's NFL? I think they might call that a penalty in today's NFL. With all the rule changes, man.
He's good. He's good right there, man. He's good.
But hey, man, we have a huge need. We have a huge need at right tackle. So I can easily see this happening if the Raiders strike out at quarterback and they kind of focus maybe later in the draft, maybe in the second round, maybe in the third, fourth, fifth round to grab their quarterback possibly of the future. Who knows? Or they might just maybe add some competition to the room, see what happens, let the best man win. If they find a guy that can be better than AOC and Gardner Minshew, they're obviously going to have him start. Or it's going to be another year of AOC or Minshew just carrying the team until they draft a quarterback next year. But at the end of the day, they still can add some talent at the offensive line, because if you're talking about like a coach like Antonio Pierce talking about he wants to build a physical team, if he's trying to do that, then you got to build through the trenches to build that type of identity. So I can definitely see the Raiders drafting O-line at number 13 for sure. But let's go move along to the next what's real, what's not. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. And let's see if you can see it real quick. It's kind of small, but we'll read it out. Raiders should not draft QB this year. AOC time. And I'm gonna put this on here, and I'm gonna let y'all think about it real quick. And I'm gonna play a clip that I posted by I think Brian Baldinger, and he kind of offered an alternative plan to the Raiders building a Super Bowl contending team. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this real quick. Oh, damn. I just did the wrong thing, but let's see. Hold on one second. My bad, y'all. Ooh, I don't know why I did that. Hold on one second. Oh, let's see.
Let's see what Baldy is talking about.
Hold on one second. Scene. All right, my bad, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip by Baldinger. He got a goofy ass name.
Pause.
All right. Here we go. Let me go put it on the screen. So yeah, you heard it there from Brian Baldinger. I can't say his name, but he pretty much is saying that look, Raiders don't have to get a quarterback this year. Let's build a roster, build a talented roster, and then when it's time, add the QB to a situation where he can succeed. Which makes sense.
The chat saying they couldn't hear it.
Oh, y'all couldn't hear it? Ah, man. All right. Well, that's pretty much what he said. He pretty much said that the Raiders should definitely look into. And let me see if I could play the original clip here. I'll try to pull it up. But pretty much what he had to say was the fact that the Raiders should pass on drafting a QB this year. They shouldn't draft a QB this year, and that's pretty much what the what's real, what's not statement here on the what you see on the screen. Raiders should not draft a QB this year, and his main point was that the Raiders should focus on building the rest of the roster, and then when it's time, putting the right QB in place. And in the meantime, let AOC or Gardner Minshew hold it down, and if they are the guys, they are the guy. But if not, the next guy will be ready to come into a situation where there's a talented roster. Do you feel like that's the right move?
I do not feel that's the right move. And what's crazy is that Brian Baldinger, the example that he used is the 49ers. Like he's like, look what the 49ers did, right? Look what the 49ers did. So let's look at what the 49ers did. First of all, the 49ers traded a second-round pick for Jimmy G and then gave him a fat contract. And then when Jimmy G kind of proved that he wasn't the guy that can stay healthy and lead them to the promised land, they gave up a boatload of picks to move up in the draft for what many people thought was to draft Mac Jones. It ended up being to draft Trey Lance. And then they were going to get rid of Jimmy G, and then Trey Lance turned out to not be the guy. Then they went back to Jimmy G, and then Jimmy G got hurt, and Trey Lance got hurt, and then they discovered Brock Purdy by accident. So it wasn't some divine plan that they set into motion where we're just going to build this roster up and then we'll get our QB. No, they attempted to get their QB like several times, and it just didn't work until they, by happenstance, got lucky with Brock Purdy. And I don't even think Brock Purdy is really that good. I think they have such a good roster that they're able to mask a lot of Brock Purdy's deficiencies. But it's easier to find the right quarterback. I want to say it's easier to find the right quarterback. You have to do less to find the right quarterback than you would to have to acquire the right players at all these different positions and then find the right quarterback at the right time. It's easier to try to get that franchise guy at quarterback and then move forward from there. We'll see what the Texans have done. We'll see what Cincinnati did, right? You find the right quarterback, the change in your franchise is almost instantaneous. You can change your fortunes. Deshaun Watson, before he went berserk, he kind of did that with Houston Texans the first time. It's easier, and I say it's easier, but I think quarterback is the most important position in all of pro sports. If you get that position right, that kind of has a trickle-down effect, and it helps you everywhere else because it also helps you in free agency because guys want to come play for your team when you have that kind of quarterback. Like, there's going to be guys that want to go to Houston to play with C.J. Stroud because of the kind of guy he is. There's people that want to go to Cincinnati to play with Joe Burrow because of the kind of guy he is, kind of player he is. So I think that just makes it easier, right? Perfect example. The Bills got it right with Josh Allen. And then, Stephon Diggs, he was unhappy in Minnesota. He went to the Bills. Like, I think once you find a quarterback, you can put the other pieces into place.
No, I agree, man. The quarterback's the most important position on the football field, and it makes things a lot easier. Teams become way more competitive when you have a good quarterback. But that being said, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Look, the Raiders are at number 13. The guys that they want in the draft are in the top 3. They want to get the Jaden Daniels. You got Michael Penix having a pretty good pro day. It's a possibility. Guys like I mentioned, teams like the Broncos, the Vikings, whoever, they can jump in front of the Raiders and get in the top 10. So what I'm saying, it's not a guarantee that they're going to get their guy. Do you really want the Raiders to force a pick at 13 when there's better players on the board? And to be honest with you, the Raiders are not going to be a Super Bowl contender next year. Can they be competitive? Can they be a playoff team? Yes, if they make the right moves. I just don't think that if you force the pick at QB, while instead of making the team better, meaning drafting O-line, maybe drafting a a guy like you just mentioned earlier, Kenyon Mitchell. You know what I mean? That makes the team a lot better. That makes the defense a lot better. That makes the trenches a lot better. That makes the running game a lot better because let's say if you drafted the best right tackle on the board, automatically our O-line gets better. Automatically the run game gets better because whoever is running behind or in front of them or behind them is going to have bigger holes to run through. So I think by the time you're going to figure out, by the time the next QB comes in, you're going to figure out like if AOC is a guy that can hold it down. Minshew is a guy that could be maybe the next Rich Gannon. I'm not saying he will be, but you never know. Journeyman quarterback comes in, finally gets an opportunity, plays with the talented roster or semi-talented, or, the Raiders are trying to win now. They can figure that out in the meantime before the next quarterback comes in. If they don't figure it out, the next quarterback that comes in will come into a way better roster, ready to win roster. So what I'm saying is the Raiders shouldn't force it. They don't have to.
Shouldn't force it, but if you have faith that the guy can be the guy to lead your franchise, I think you pull the trigger. Because you think about it, if you're waiting for AOC to be that guy, how many years of Devontae do we have left? How many more years do we have with Jacoby? How many more years do we have Robert Spillane? Is Kuntz going to be gone next year? Are we going to pay Nate Hobbs? Are we going to, we're going to, Jack Jones only has a few more years, right? Max Crosby just saw what Christian Wilkins got. He's going to want more money. So it gets to a point where, like all this roster, the solid roster that you had built, it's all gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you get your quarterback, that's going to be your quarterback for the next however many years. We had Derek Carr for 9 years, right? That was 9 opportunities to build a franchise around him. Now, people didn't think we did an adequate enough job doing that, and I would tend to agree. But once you find a guy that you think is the guy, you have the opportunity to do that. You just have to make sure you execute on it properly. So I think finding the quarterback, I think that is, I forget who would say it, but they say like every year you should draft a quarterback. I don't know if that was Jimmy Johnson who said that. It was like, but basically every year you should draft a quarterback because
or offensive
that's
line.
the most important. Yeah, I mean, I mean,
you know what I mean.
But I think offensive line. This is such a deep tackle class. You can find those guys late in good, like perfect, like good offensive linemen can get away. Nobody is letting franchise quarterbacks off their team at all, right? If the guy's a franchise guy, he's not going anywhere. That's why you look at what the Saints paid for Derek Carr, a guy that never won a playoff game. Look what they gave him.
Right, and Raider Nation 510 says Minshew mania. You know what I mean? Severe, like, you don't believe in Minshew mania? The guy comes, all he does is just he comes in, he does what he needs to do. They almost made the playoffs with the Colts. He held it down with the Colts that kind of overachieved last year, and he almost led that team to the playoffs. But Clark Arroyo says we have to draft well, and that's the thing with a lot of Raider fans. My guy, I think Raider Smoke 89 said we have PTSD when it comes to the draft. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if the Raiders are going to be good, competitive, and have long-term success, guess what they have to do? There's no way around it. You got to draft well. So when people say like, oh, well, who needs these picks? We always get the wrong players. I understand that. I understand where Raider fans are coming from because we've missed so bad. But if the Raiders are going to have long-term success or be one of the best teams in the NFL, then they have to draft well. There's no way around it. So what we really should be hoping for is having the right people in the building. That's what we should be hoping for. Having the right infrastructure. Having Mark Davis just be far away from decision-making when it comes to the roster. Having someone who's well qualified to run the organization to make the big-time football decisions. That's what the Raiders should be hoping for.
Mark Davis. Mark Davis in a kidney real quick.
Man, Mark Davis, man. It is what it is. But look, all I'm saying is I'm playing devil's advocate. Obviously, I want a quarterback. There's no way around it. Like I definitely want a quarterback in if the opportunity presents itself. But the other side of me is like, hey, look, like it's not like the Raiders have a perfect roster. The Raiders just made a commitment to they want to win now. But do they have a perfect roster? No. They have needs at offensive tackle. They have needs at corner. You know, they have some needs at receiver, surprisingly. When you have Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams, you're like, needs at receiver? Yeah, we only have like 3 legit, and 3 might be being generous. You never know. A guy like Trey Tucker, 1 year he looks like he possibly might have play a few years with the Raiders, but next year, new regime comes in and be like, nah, he might get cut. We've seen it. We've seen it happen before. So receivers definitely a position that the Raiders need to prioritize. Running back is a position that they need to prioritize at some point in the draft.
I don't know.
All I'm saying, I'm just saying, there's other spots on the team that need to be built. Like for you, it's not like we have the most. Do you feel like the Raiders have the most talented roster in the NFL? Are they the top 5 roster in the NFL?
No, but
top 5, okay, top 10, top 10.
No. Okay, but let me ask you this.
But I make that point.
Do the Texans have a top 10 roster in the NFL? How many starters on the Texans can you name outside of C.J. Stroud?
But that.
Okay. Do the Green Bay Packers have a top 10 roster in the NFL?
They have some young talent. They have some young pieces. Who? Hey, the Texans every year in the NFL. Every year in the NFL. Before you laugh it off. Every year in the NFL. Every year in the NFL, there's always going to be a surprise team. Look. I think there's like a statistic every year, like when every playoffs, there's always going to be a new playoff team. Every year there's going to be a surprise team. There's going to be a team that no one expected to be good. Texans were that team. And guess what? Texans, they got some young pieces. Nico Collins, he looks like one of the best young receivers in the game. I'm not saying I'm saying that he's playing like he's one of the best young receivers in the game. Like he's playing like a guy that has he could build with a guy like C.J. Stroud.
But look. Who was Nico Collins before C.J. Stroud got there? A castaway from the Cowboys that nobody thought would be any good. So it wasn't like he was, we got Nico Collins. We just need a guy to get him the ball. It was, Nico Collins is a bum. C.J. Stroud has one of the worst wide receiver cores in the league. What is he going to do? He's going to get killed. And now we're looking at guys like Nico Collins and forget the other guy that was killing for him too. But these guys weren't considered some good receiver core. They were considered trash. Same thing with Green Bay, right? They were considered a bunch of bums, but they got it right at the quarterback position. So now these quarterbacks are producing with lesser talent, and that's why the quarterback position is so important.
So when did Nico Collins got drafted? When did he get drafted? He got
I don't even remember, man.
And he got drafted like in 2021. So he's been in the league for like 2 years. 2 years. So his rookie year.
The Cowboys got rid of him.
But like, I think
they got rid of him.
The Cowboy. He played for the Cowboys.
Oh well, maybe I'm thinking about the other guy.
Nah, I think the Texans drafted him. The Texans drafted him.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking about the other guy they got there. Not Nico Collins. What's the other receiver?
Yeah, so Nico Collins was drafted by the Texans, a young receiver who's developed under the Texans, and obviously he's playing with a talented quarterback. Obviously, he's going to get unlocked.
Nico Collins is drafted in.
So okay, hey, do you think Nico Collins is a good receiver? You think he's a good, solid receiver, like good up and coming receiver, young receiver?
I think he's a solid receiver.
Right.
Nico Collins was an afterthought before this year.
Right, because who was the quarterback for the Texans?
I forgot the guy's name.
Nobody, right? So when the position at that quarterback position improves, then everybody else, you start seeing what the receivers look like. You start seeing what the O-line.
This is my point.
I understand, but like what I'm saying is, at 13, do the Raiders have an opportunity to get a quarterback in the top 3? The chances are very small. So are you going to force it by drafting a Bo Nix, or are you going to force it and draft a J.J. McCarthy? Are you going to force it? Like, obviously, if the Raiders have an opportunity to get Jaden Daniels, I would like for that to happen. But if that can't happen, then you have to focus on the other parts of your team and build and get the best player available.
I think very rarely do you get an opportunity where you have this many good quarterbacks or this many quarterbacks that people think are going to be good, right? Rarely does this happen, right? There are a lot more years where Kenny Pickett is the first quarterback taken, Desmond Ridder is the first quarterback taken. Josh Rosen is the second quarterback taken. Like, you have a lot more of those years than you have in this year where you feel like these guys are legit franchise guys. I think Michael Penix Jr. is a legit franchise quarterback. I think that working with the receivers like Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers, he will be immediately an impact player. But I don't think the crop of quarterbacks next year is anywhere near as good as the crop of quarterbacks this year. I don't really like Shador that much. I don't like Quinn Ewers that much. I don't like Jalen Merrill that much. I don't like any of those guys that much, to be honest with you, unless they come out next year and just have some crazy seasons, which is a possibility because that's what Jaden did. So there's always a possibility that guy comes out and do that. But if things go right, we're not in a position to draft a quarterback next year in the top half of the draft.
And that's another thing too, man. Like, I think, look, this is a classic situation, and this happens all the time. The quarterback takes the most blame, and they also get the most credit, and it's always extremes on both ends. C.J. Stroud, obviously, he's looking like he might be one of the best young QBs in the game. The way he came into the league, rookie of the year, I get it, but also it looks like he one of the best young head coaches is he's with the Texans. I think they got him from defensive coordinator from San Francisco. Then you got Tank Dell, you got Nico Collins, you got that young running back who struggled this year, but looked like he was a running back year one, but they had, they have some pieces there. Will Anderson looks like he's a player. Then they got they got some pieces on this team where you be like, oh, okay, we didn't know. Obviously, the Texans not having success in the past, but we didn't know. But once they put the right pieces together, and quarterback was a part of that. But quarterback, head coach,
quarterback was the number one. So quarterback. So when C.J. Stroud got drafted to the Texans, everybody said of the rookie quarterback, she was in a worse situation because he was supposedly had the worst skill position players. Because what's my guy's name? Noah Brown, Nico Collins, and then C.J. Stroud is the one that told the Texans to draft Tank Dell. So you bring up Tank Dell. Without C.J. Stroud getting drafted, they likely don't have Tank Dell because Tank Dell was the one that told them, hey, this is a guy I connected with. I want him. Go up and get him. So you would eliminate Tank Dell without C.J. Stroud. You don't have him, right? And then they were decimated on the offensive line. They're playing second, third string guys on the offensive line, and C.J. Stroud still made it work.
Right. But see, that's a very specific situation because Derek Carr wanted who at OC after the 26th season. We seen how that all worked out. So listening to what the quarterback wants and stuff like that, there you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it made sense for the Texans at the time because guess what? They needed some weapons on offense, and Tank Dell was probably a guy that they liked, and guess what? The quarterback that they drafted liked him. So that's like two birds, one stone right there. So I get it 100%. If there's an opportunity for the Raiders to get a quarterback, I want them to get that QB. What I'm saying is don't force the pick. What I'm saying, the Raiders pick at number 13, and if that price gets to – I don't want the Raiders to be the team that gives up the historical price to get the QB because I just don't want it to happen. I want us to be on the winning end of a deal. I don't want us to be on the losing end of a deal. If we're giving up 4 or 5 first-round picks just to get a top 3, you're going to say yes to that? I don't think that makes any sense. We just agreed that in order for the Raiders or any team to have long-term success is that you got to hit on the draft picks. You got to hit on these draft picks. But what happens if you don't have any? What are you going to do? You can't at the end of the day, like it's kind of a waste. Like how can you build a team on cheap contracts? Because that's how a lot of these teams are winning is because they got a quarterback on a rookie deal, cheap contract. They're drafting well, a lot more cheap contracts. They continue to build. And you can make some aggressive moves here and there for the most part. But all I'm saying at the end of the day, like, yeah, if we can get a quarterback, let's do it, but don't force it. But it's a good conversation to have because Baldinger, he makes a good point. Look, the quarterback is only going to be as good as his supporting cast. Football is the ultimate team sport. Sports in general are a team sport, but especially football. Like, if the O-line ain't blocking, if the receivers ain't catching, if the coach, a.k.a. Josh McDaniels, ain't coaching, you can see how a guy like Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers, all these guys, where we'd be like, man, these guys are good players, but why do the Raiders look this bad? You can see how, it takes more than one player. And I get what you're saying. Quarterback's more important position.
Are you saying that we had several weapons, but poor quarterback play held us back?
Coaching.
Okay.
I'll say both.
Okay.
I'll say both. But my guy, Raider Smoke 89, man, and we were hella into this conversation here. A little mini debate. It's the 50-50 show, so we show two sides to the coin, man. Look, Raider Smoke 89 says you can build a super team, but if you don't have a QB, you got nothing. Mahomes just won a ring with not a talented receiver core. The QB is the difference. But how about the Chiefs, though? Let's. There's always context. What about the Chiefs as a whole? Shout out to Patrick Mahomes with winning a Super Bowl without a talented receiving core, but he did have arguably the best tight end in the game, and he does have the best coach in the NFL, like hands down. It's not even close. Andy Reid, the quarterback guru. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about that, man. That makes a huge difference. It's a perfect combination. You got like a super Megatron of a quarterback, mega quarterback and a mega talented quarterback and Patrick Mahomes, and you get Andy Reid, one of the best offensive minded coaches of all time. So it's a great combination in my mind. Like it's never one player or one guy. It's always going to be a combination of things, in my opinion. But man, it's a good conversation to have.
That quarterback's the equalizer, though, man. Equalizer, man.
Damn, we got people talking about they passing gas. Ah, damn, man, that's keep that to yourself.
Man, exactly.
Keep that to yourself. Man, Raiders fucking out. Pharaoh, my bro, we've been losing 20 plus years. We got to mix it up and do something different. We got to give up. But what is the farm though? What is the farm?
Okay. So
you know what?
Let me ask you this.
Let me actually pull this up. You know what? And you say what I'm gonna pull up this. It's a good timing. That article that I was telling you about. That with
So
conversation.
So we've been hoarding first round picks, right? And how many of those first round picks are still on our roster? Outside of Tyree. One, right? Outside of Tyree, we have one.
Right.
Colton Miller is the only one. And remember, we didn't even want Colton Miller. We wanted Mike McGlinchey. And then the 49ers traded up in front of us. So guess what? We settled for Colton Miller. Mm-hmm. Not the guy we wanted. And how did that turn out? Turned out fantastic. And it's not always going to work that way, but I'm saying we have all these first round picks and nothing to show for any of them. I would rather take the chance and go up and get a guy we believe can be the leader of our franchise for the next 15 or 20 years than to sit back. Like what did Al Davis say? We don't take what the defense gives us. We take what we want. Well, damn it, I want Jaden Daniels. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to take what I want. And so that's how we should operate as a franchise. If that's the guy we identify, that's the guy we want, let's go up there and get the guy that we want. We see what Green Bay did, right? Who do they have a wide receiver? I can't name another receiver they have up there. I think Romeo Dobbs is one. Outside of that, I can't name their tight end. All I know is Jordan Love was the best quarterback the second half of the season with those guys, though.
So I just put on the screen. So shout out to The Athletic. They had this scenario. They had trade up scenarios with different teams going up to the top three. In this scenario, they had the Raiders trading with New England, and what the trade looks like for New England to number 3. This is just hypothetical, because it could definitely be more, because you gotta account for other teams probably increasing that value. But for right now, this is what they have. They have picks number 13, number 44, 112. I believe that's third or fourth round pick. That might be a fourth round pick. I think that might be a fourth round pick, 112. And a 2025 first round pick to New England for number 3. So if it's that trade for number 3, I'm definitely doing it. Because
I have a question.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing it, because if you look at it from this perspective, the year before, right? Last year, the Panthers trading up to number 1, they had to give. I'm gonna pull up their trade package, because they had to give up a number 1 receiver. They had to give up like 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. I felt like let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. But I'll do that trade instantly. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I had it up. I'll pull it up in a second.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up in a second.
I mean, that trade I'm doing in a heartbeat. But it all depends, right? If Coach Kelly is right, and the Commanders are really taking Jaden Daniels at number 2, then I'm probably not doing that trade, because that's the only guy I'm really trading up for. We all assume that Caleb Williams going number 1. If Jaden Daniels goes number 2, then I'm not doing that trade. I'll stick and stay and kind of see how the board falls to us. If we can get Michael Penix at 13, that would be ideal. But I'm not moving up if it's like to draft JJ McCarthy or Drake Maye. I'll take a hard pass on that.
All right, so I think I might have something here. Let's see here. All right, so here it goes right here. I'm gonna put this on the screen for everybody to see. And this is what the Panthers trade looked like from pick number 9 all the way to number 1. But this is a completely different draft. So it's kind of like, yeah. Oh man, if we can get to number 3 with that trade, that's actually a pretty solid trade. But let's take a look here. Let me just share this so everybody can see. The full package of assets sent to Chicago reads like a shopping list. The 9th overall pick this year, 2nd round selection in 2023. So number 61 overall, a first round pick in 2024, which obviously is the number 1 pick in the draft. A 2nd round pick in 2025. So they traded their first two rounds each year. Plus DJ Moore, a number 1 receiver. That's equivalent to the Raiders trading Devontae Adams.
I do it.
So the trade that I'm gonna pull up in a second. I lost the page, but that trade is pretty solid.
Yeah, that trade's better than pretty solid.
It's perfect. I would do that instantly. I would do this instantly. Number 13, pick 44, 112. So this is our first round pick, our 2nd round pick this year, and our 4th round, and a 2025. Man, whoever did this art, man. Hopefully the Patriots are paying attention to this deal right here. This is the Raiders should do this instantly.
Hopefully they not. Hopefully we can get something on there. And that they don't see it coming.
Right. But I'm just saying, if this is the deal, I think the Raiders, because the Raiders will obviously get their guy, and especially the quarterback position. We all know how valuable that position is. But if they're able to get Jaden Daniels, who they would get at number 3, possibly, I would do this trade instantly. But that being said, this is a hypothetical. The Raiders are going to have to compete with, the Vikings, the Broncos, the Giants, and a number of teams that are looking to trade up to get because New England is not going to be talking to just the Raiders. They're going to be talking to every team so they can bump up the price. And I don't see this being the deal, but if this is the deal, the Raiders should definitely go after it for sure. No doubt about it.
No, 100%.
But yeah, man, hey man, it's been a pretty good show, man. We
yes, sir.
we went a little bit of overtime, make sure to clock in, clock out. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit that notification bell. We appreciate everybody coming through. We went a little bit overtime, man, but we appreciate everybody waiting. We were late today, but we appreciate everybody's patience. If you haven't already, like I said, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, that notification bell, you know what I mean? All that good stuff. We're going live on both our channels. My mods in the building, man. Make sure to post the links. Also, I'm gonna say this again. I keep forgetting, but hey, we are looking for some more mods, man. Daniel Kim has set the, you know what I mean? He's laid the foundation, but he needs some help. I believe he needs some help. So whoever is interested in becoming a mod to get that special blue wrench right next to their name in the chat, make sure to hit me on IG or even Twitter. You know what I mean? Social media. Same name you see on the screen, Pharaoh NFL, PHAROAH NFL. And just hit me up and I'll give you the details and you get that special blue wrench. But yeah, man, we'll talk about that on the back end. But we appreciate everybody coming through. Man, Clark Arroyo says he doesn't want to draft Penix.
Oh man, tripping.
Oh man, he's not a Penix guy. He's definitely not a Penix guy. My guy, yes. But any last thoughts for Raider Nation on what they can look forward to as far as this offseason and what we need to do a mock draft. That's going to be coming up soon. We're going to do a mock draft. We're going to have a call in. We're going to have all that good stuff. There's going to be so much that we're going to do this offseason. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. But any last thoughts, Severe?
Yeah, man, just, it is going to be a very exciting time leading up to the draft. I mean, a lot of speculation, a lot of smoke going on, man. So just make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and get down in the comment section. Let us know what you feel about the show. Give us your thoughts. If we weren't able to answer something you put in the chat, then, we definitely check that out down there, man. Hit me on my channel, hit me on Pharaoh's channel. And yeah, man, just stay tuned.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. Look, like I said, should we give them the reminder of what that like button looks like, man? Hey, we haven't done it today. We actually didn't even do it today, but let's go. Let's give him a little reminder, man. Hey, Severe, don't worry. Severe is going to be all right, man. He's getting attacked by thumbs, but hey, look, that's just go ahead and hit the like button.
No more.
Hey, there you go, man. There you go. That's what it looked like. Just hit the like button, subscribe. Cool Kevs, no mock drafts, please.
Man.
We know we haven't done a mock draft. I think we did one. We got some in the vault. We haven't released it. We might release it, but we might just do
look at it. You gotta see how different that mock draft looks now that the pro days are up. See how different the stuff falls.
I know, right? So like we might do a live mock draft, but like I said, everybody, hey man, we appreciate everybody coming through. We had a great show, great conversation, great little back and forth with Severe. You know what I'm saying? It's the 50-50 show. We're always gonna show two sides to every story. You guys let us know what the verdict is. Man, we got all types of people. Hey, we got all types of people pulling up, man. But look, hey, catch us next time. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. So make sure, like I said, to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we do go live. But we do go live every Monday at 8 p.m. The next show will be later this week, most likely around Thursday, Friday. Make sure to be on the lookout for that, man. It's gonna be me, Severe, and Big Mike. It's gonna be a good show. So be on the lookout for that as well. And we got some stuff coming up, man. It just like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. And yeah, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Hey, my guy, real talk, man. We're gonna have you on here soon, man. We're gonna have you on here soon, man.
That's another great channel right there.
Yeah, another great channel. Make sure to subscribe, my guy, Real Talk Raider Nation. We'll have him on here soon, man. God knows his stuff. But yeah, man, until next time. Peace.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.